Hi, welcome to another edition of our Accountancy Age Q&A series. I'm Sam Alberti, Senior Reporter at Accountancy Age, and today I'm joined by Dilek Cilingir, Global Head of Assurance Talent at EY. We'll be diving into the nuts and bolts of EY's acquisition and retention efforts, particularly in the face of the firm's impending structural shift, which will see the separation of its audit and consulting arms. Dilek, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Sam. Happy to be here with you today.
Great to have you here. And so, Dilek, I obviously mentioned the audit and consulting split there, and I think it's probably worth starting there, given that that's the big news surrounding the firm right now. And given that you oversee the effort to keep EY's talent happy and productive, I was wondering if you could give me a sense of whether you think, a structural shift of this scale poses a risk of any kind of internal tensions or anything like that, and whether you think this has any kind of potential to put a strain on the firm's talent efforts as a result.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sam. Yes, as you said, what we're working on is a huge transaction. And I also have to say that it's not final before all our partners vote for yes. So I need to say that. And one other thing to underline is, we're starting from a point where we feel that we're really strong at the moment. And we believe that if we are able to do this transaction, we'll have two really strong organizations and both multidisciplinary. So when we say that it's split between audit and consulting, it's also worthwhile to say that it won't be only audit, but will be multidisciplinary in that organization as well. And back to your question, obviously, in terms of talent and how that's affecting us. For our people, obviously, that creates a bit of uncertainty. But actually, we feel, and we just started communicating this with our people, is there will be a lot of opportunities for them going forward because they will have more choices. They will be able to have more choices. They'll be able to grow more in both of the new companies going forward. And we also believe that in the assurance side of the business, that we'll be able to focus more on talent and invest more to them, which includes several things like more mobility, more rotations between the service lines. We're also looking to accelerate their pathway to becoming partner, which means more agile promotions and rapid promotions as well, obviously making sure that they're ready for it too. And basically, we think that we'll have more focused investment for assurance and the businesses adjacent to it within this new company going forward if the transaction occurs. And obviously, Sam, what happens is some of our competitors might see it as an opportunity to get closer to our people, but we're just trying to make sure that we increase our communications and let our people know that actually they have a lot of opportunities, more than what they have currently going forward.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I guess sort of looking at this through more of a practical lens from where you're sitting within the business and in the talent function, how do you go about sort of strategically planning for a shift like this? What does that process look like for you? I know you obviously clarified that this is not 100% confirmed and it's very much something that looks like it's going to be happening in the future. But how do you see that process playing out from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking at the moment is obviously we'll have, as I said, two different distinct organizations. And under each organization, we're looking at what competencies we need. And based on that, obviously, we're allocating firstly our partners to these two organizations. And then, we just started doing this as a getting ready. As I said, again, it's pending partner vote. And then we'll also, do similar source of allocation for the people underneath. So a lot of, thinking, a lot of preparation, analysis are going into this, and obviously, a lot of talking in the country also to make sure that we have the right allocation and right split between these two companies going forward. So it's a lot of effort. We just try to make sure that we're connected and from global down. In terms of global structure, we have a good base because we're globally very integrated as a firm, which is an advantage for us when compared to the other big four, especially in light of a transaction like this. So we're making sure that we're really globally connected through areas, regions, and countries, and align what we're trying to do in all countries.
Okay, perfect. And so I guess we've covered what's going on inside the organization, but externally, obviously the talent market itself is becoming ever more challenging to navigate. Things like the Great Resignation, it's obviously a very commonly used phrase right now. We've all heard that many times. So generally speaking, how is EY contending with those issues, those talent market restrictions, in terms of both acquisition and retention?
Yeah. If you look at it, Sam, I think what's happened during COVID is, it has been really interesting. I think everybody started to question their lives. They wanted to understand what the purpose is for them and how their work is connected to that purpose. So we saw a lot of movement, obviously, and the perception about audit doesn't help either, because during such a time, audit is looked at as stressful and obviously long hours of work, etc., and sometimes probably perceived as low growth. So those are some of the things that we're working on at the moment anyways. But in addition, the COVID hit, which didn't help this sector at all. So we were at really not a good place probably last year. But, we did a lot of things to change the perception, plus to make sure that our people's well-being is much better than where it used to be. Because obviously the average age of our people around 28 in insurance, which is obviously pretty young. And very rightly so, they're very focused on their work-life harmony, work-life balance, pick what you want to call it. But we are making sure that investing more in technology, getting some of the admin work and them focusing more on more meaningful work like sustainability, etc., and developing them to become business future leaders instead of doing admin type of work. Those things really is helping at the moment. And currently, our retention ratios are back to where it used to be before COVID. So I think we're doing well, but obviously we have a lot to do going forward. I can't say that, what we've done is enough. We have a lot to do going forward. And we also trying to shift the perception of up or out model, because it has always been, you become a partner or you're out. But we also see that, that is also changing. And we are coming up with these different career paths now that everybody can choose, and they can excel at the pace they want to excel. If they would like to, get promoted quicker, they can try that. If they would like to slow down their career and focus on something different for a while and come back, we are also we have designed career paths like that, and we just launched it like 6 months ago. And the feedback we got has been really positive, Sam.
Okay, great. I mean, one thing you said there is about that sort of negative perception of audit and how EY has been working to change that and reverse that. It's an interesting point. So I wonder if you could just sort of dive into that a little bit more for me. What has that process of changing that perception looks like, if you could sort of give me an outline of that, and how much of an impact do you think this has on your talent retention efforts? You know, does it have a direct impact on job satisfaction and things like that?
Yeah, we looked into this, and this has been going on for a while, and that's why, you know, we thought that, you know, a lot of work needs to be done. And when I say that, actually, what's been expected from the auditors are changing as well, because you know, the increased use of some complex technologies, sustainability, you know, those sorts of things are really increasing the expectations that society has from the auditors. So, you know, not forgetting about that and making sure that that's really important. We also shifted, you know, our messaging to make sure that our people understand that, and what they're doing has a lot of purpose, actually, because if they connect the purpose with their work, we all know that you know, increases the motivation of what they do. So that's one of the things we've been doing. Obviously, you know, currently as EY, we're investing $1 billion in audit methodology at the moment, and we're trying to change it to, you know, AI based totally. So it's a multi-year project. Every year we are kicking a part of it. So we are at the end of our first year, and I think we'll probably have like 2 more years to complete it. But we know that that'll change a lot for our people as well. Take some of the you know, repetitive work out, and we'll be able to have a lot of benchmarks as well, and we'll be able to bring more value add to our clients. So I think that makes a lot of difference. We also have now more meaningful learning. So what we've done as EY is, for example, we have the EY Tech MBA that we do together with Hart University. We also have Master in Sustainability. We have these badges programs. So what we did is we don't want our people to see training as a compliance effort they need to go through. We'd like them to really learn and be curious about these topics. And we invested in world-class learning, and we saw that that really changed how they look at this as well. And when I was a young auditor many, many years ago, I liked it because I learned a lot, because I was connecting, you know, with the C-suite of my clients. I was having good discussions with them. I feel like, you know, I was bringing value to them as well. So we're also trying to get this perspective back, and we would like to continue developing the future leaders of business. It doesn't mean that all our people that started with us will be the leaders at EY, but we'd like to see them at the C-suites of leading companies as well. So that's important for us, basically growing these business leaders. So those are all obviously connected, Sam. When we started communicating more on this, when we started to show these examples more, I think you know, our retention increased, and we'll continue to do more on all these things going forward.
Okay, and you mentioned the significance of sort of connecting purpose with work there. And I noticed you also mentioned the firm's sustainability efforts as well. Presumably there's an inherent link between those two things. So yeah, if you think that's applicable, can you explain to me that connection and what impact that has?
Yes, you know, we believe that, you know, obviously you probably know that EY is building a better working world is our purpose. And we think that with assurance, we're actually building confidence, you know, for a sustainable world, or building confidence for sustainable growth, which I think will be very important for future. So we believe that also, you know, we're serving the public interest. So we bring all of these things together, And we also had this purpose competition last year, which a lot of our people, around like I think 300 or plus, actually attended this competition, which was really interesting because their purposes were very linked to this, and also making a lot of impact to the world or impact to the people they work together with. But it was a lot around, building confidence and making impacts and, growing people, etc., which I think is, very linked to what we do and really motivating our people.
Perfect. Thank you. And I mean, obviously, with this being such a competitive marketplace, the risk of talent being poached by other firms is always going to be present, no matter what firm it is. I know you already mentioned this a little bit earlier. The fact that the audit and consulting split maybe is seeing the risk of this rise a little bit, or maybe has the potential to. So could you tell me a little bit more about that and what EY may be doing to prevent key talent from being poached by other firms?
Yeah, I mean, currently we've seen that, our people are, some of our people might be approached and poached by other firms. But to be honest with you, we haven't lost, I don't know, we've even lost one or two as a result of this. And we're trying to track, by the way. But we are thinking that this will be to our advantage, and we're going to use it during our recruitment and in our recruitment messages going forward as well. I think one thing we've seen, independent of this transaction, is our younger people or people from colleges also fancy startups. So I think that's one of the areas that have been or taking a lot of interest that I see, instead of the other competitors that we have in the same sector. I see that startups has been really interesting for our people. So I see, for example, more people going out of the sector to these sorts of companies, rather than us losing a lot of people in our own sector. And that's why we also communicate or increase our communication related to what it means to be an auditor, or to be a professional in assurance at EY.
Okay, got it. Perfect. And just finally, then, I wanted to come on just to talking a little bit more about the role of technology in EY's talent efforts. You already mentioned the investments that are being made, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about that if possible. Obviously, things like automation are always playing an ever-increasing role in the sector. Presumably, talent is no different. So, yeah, an overview of what technology is being used and how it's being applied in EY's talent efforts would be amazing.
Yeah, currently we're building our own technology in the firm. So that's why we made some investment and will continue to do so. And we have an amazing team. A lot of people at the moment. Some of them actually auditors as well. So we believe that actually people coming from the business who knows how to audit the firms, in addition to take people who are really strong and bringing them together, it is really creating a good synergy. And we believe that at the end we'll have a fantastic tool. We are looking at from all angles. Obviously, this had a big launch and it was on the news and everything else. We are also looking at user experience to make sure that our people would like to use it, because it's very important, obviously, to have it user friendly. So I'm in this project at the moment, but I know that it's very exciting and many people would like to be a part of it. But in addition to that, Sam, we're doing a couple more interesting things, which is around technology. For example, currently we started recruitment in Metaverse this year, and we are the first service line at EY starting this. So we we rented a place in Decentraland and did a EY talent tree. And we started recruitment in this talent tree. We started small, but when we saw that actually this was really successful, then we started increasing the number of events we have. And we saw that as a result of this, we were also able to attract people with tech backgrounds, STEM background, because that's really important for us going forward. We need a lot of people with, as you know, also, I'm sure, with STEM background and tech background. So that's something that we've been doing. We're really proud of it. And we also now will be using a virtual experience platform so that some of the students in the college will be able to actually experience some of the work virtually before they apply to jobs with us. So now we're working on that as well. We're starting with our sustainability practice because sustainability is very important for us and we're investing a lot. So a couple of interesting and innovative projects we have at the moment, Sam, which involves a bit of technology. So I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All sounds incredibly exciting. But I think actually that's just about all we have time for now. I think we've covered a lot of ground. So thanks so much for joining me and sharing your insights. I'm sure we'll all be keeping a close eye on the developing situation at EY in the coming months. So perhaps we'll speak to you again in the not too distant future. But yeah, until then, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Sam. Have a good day.
Thank you, and you.
Thanks.
Thanks very much for watching this Q&A session with EY. I do hope you enjoyed. For those eager to watch more video content or simply looking to access information on the latest emerging trends impacting the accounting profession, please visit Accountancy Age online and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.